Unfortunately, my ability to read Chinese is not good enough to read the article in East Magazine, although its contents were reported to me, and I think I probably did at some point see a translation from the official language officer. But I'd like just to make a couple of points, if I may. One is, what did I mean by the words political agenda and politically desirable?
唔係，我諗你唔好答啦 ，OK？ 我淨係要你答11月3號嘅東周刊對你有冇影響？你話你唔識中文，但係有人話俾你聽，即係你知道有件咁嘅事啦 ，OK？ 咁你就答咗佢個問題㗎啦。你話冇影響啊嘛 ，OK？ 咁但係跟住落嚟係 OK 嗱，我哋唔想再喺個人事度。即係你個下屬而家喺度批判你，咁你又喺批判你嘅上司，係嘛？同我哋而家討論問題咧冇必然關係嘅。下一位葉國謙生，叫你做先生啊！
多謝主席。嗱，我想聽完咁耐咧，我都覺得葛輝先生咧嗰種即係聯想力啊、推測力啊，都係非常之即係豐富嘅啊。咁但係我有一點問葛輝先生，你好。剛才咧都好即係好強調自己係一個最高嘅管制人員，就呢件事件呢個咁樣嘅計劃，你係最高嘅管制人員，所以你係喺現在，你可唔可以答俾我聽？你係以一個公平公正嘅態度、原則去處理成個喺審議過程嘅工作咧？我跟住會再問嘅，唔該。
何先生。
Yes. I hope I handled the selection process in a fair and impartial manner. But of course, I knew about the Financial Secretary's expressed preference that IPRO-A should be made to win. I'd heard of that from Mr. Pescod, and I'd been told to follow normal procedures. At a very late stage in the evaluation process, I'd had a message from... Please let me finish. I'd had a message from Mr. Bassanio-So that the Financial Secretary's office had called him to check whether I was aware of the Financial Secretary's views. It was very clear to me what that meant. I tried to make sure that my knowledge of I tried to make sure that my knowledge of the Financial Secretary's preferences did not influence my decisions, but of course one cannot unknow something that one knows. It might well have been the case that if I hadn't known that, I would have listened more carefully and followed the advice of the department not to propose collaboration. I'm afraid that's a hypothetical situation, and I cannot say. So I hope it didn't, but I can't. And I'd just like to mention one point to Mr.
其實好簡單，即係我頭先問題其實好簡單答我佢。係咪公平公正？喺整個事情嘅處理嘅啫。
佢頭先個答案咧就都係重複提到，即係佢亦都知道財政司司長有個咁嘅意向，但係佢都係仍然係要即係佢確保啦。佢話自己認為公平公正啦。嗱，其實呢個問題嘅啫。跟住我想再問，你過程之中點解當有個咁嘅決定，你都睇到分數嗱？呢個分數咧，我想要問一問先嘅就係嗱，我睇落去即係你呢份文件嘅上網學習支援第一組文件綠色呢度咧，佢裏邊我睇過啲分數，我就發覺到咧就教署咧方面係俾個分數係100嘅。 社聯俾社聯
100%嘅分數。咁你作為一個最高嘅管制人員，你對呢個分數，你覺得會唔會係公平公正？其他嗰啲都有啲，即係好少我見到100%嘅分數出嚟嘅喎。咁你喺呢方面嘅評估，你點認為係咁樣係合理同埋啱？
Let me explain the scoring system that we used. We decided that we needed to use the full range of scores available in order to make sure that the weightings were fully applied. So the scoring mechanism we used was that on each element, the highest scoring proposal should be given 10 points, or should be given 100 marks on each element, whichever proponent was regarded as the highest scorer. And then others would be judged against the standard set by the highest scorer. So, for example, if HKCSS were judged to have the best business plan, they would get 100 marks or 10 marks, or whatever it was, they get full marks. Please let me finish. And as a result, and that is why one person scoring felt that HKCSS was at least equal highest Not always the highest, but at least equal highest on every criterion. That seems to me to be a judgment he was perfectly entitled to make, and because of the way the scoring system worked, that resulted in him getting 100%係
屬於正常嘅做法。佢嘅判斷，我想問呢個判斷。
即係你睇到即係呢一個評分，你覺得係咪好正常 ？OK， 我
就呢個問題啫，唔好再幫我帶你遊花園啦。你淨係答係咪呢個係咪一個正常啊
？In the context of the scoring system that was used, there was nothing unusual in the fact that one evaluator.
得啦，即係你話正常得㗎啦。你話 OK 嗱，嗰個問題，你跟住呢個係呢個教主係唔係得一個人去做評分嘅？你知唔知道呢個係得一個人嘅評分分數
？I believe that's correct.
嚇，咁點？你覺得有冇問題咧？其他部門都兩個人去評分，而教主得一個評分，你都覺得係正常咩
？Yes. There were 2 officials from each department on the evaluation committee or the selection committee, whatever it was called. One of the Education Bureau department officials disqualified herself because of a conflict of interest, and we were left with the other one. Again, I didn't see anything particularly fatal to the fairness of the process in allowing it to proceed on that basis.
好，下一位潘佩球議員。
係，對主席，我有啲問題都想問一問葛輝先生。嗱，第一咧就係我想問下你，你第一咧你本身喺過往你係一個公務員係咪？唔係。你嘅職位係咪一個公務員嘅職位？
Yes。
係合約啊，係嘛？即係嗱，你合約但係公務員嚇。公務員嘅工作本身嚟講，個性質係應該係非政治性嘅，係咪咁樣
？Yes，
係，亦即係換言之咧，其實你本身你嘅工作咧，其實係唔應該去考慮你所講嘅嗰啲 political assignment 啊，即係政治嘅功課，係咪應該咁講？
我諗你呢個問題個邏輯有啲問題喎，即係。
Let me put it this way.
你可以答 ，OK。
I should not allow a political assignment to interfere with the fairness of any process.
係啦，係啦，嚇。
But every civil servant, particularly a head of department, particularly senior civil servant, has to be conscious of the。
你嘅答案我已經
唔係你唔好插嘴啦，你等佢答完咗，你等佢答完先。你頭先要批評涂謹申，所以我希望阿球哥你又一樣 ，OK？ 你等佢講完先。
佢已經答咗我個問題，我已經答咗我個問題，即係話換言之，佢係葛輝先生係認為咧，你嘅決定係唔應該受到任何，即係就算你見到有一啲嘅政治嘅因素影響，係咪？呢個本身呢個係你嘅答案係咪？好啦，咁我想問下你，點解你認為咧，即係財政司佢有提過一個公司嘅名，本身嚟講咧就係形成係一個 political assignment， 即係一個政治嘅任務。
Might I ask that I be permitted to answer the question without interruption?
但我希望你個問題，你嘅答覆係盡量簡短。
你係啦，簡單啲。嗱咁啊，球哥唔該你幫手啦。係啦。人哋要答，你又要去插嘴。
唔係正話涂謹申嗰個做法，直情一句説話都答唔到。
唔需要解釋。我都俾葛輝
先生咧，佢答咗幾句説話。
因為佢講一句，你就已經插一句埋去，跟住仲有一個即時傳譯嘅問題，咁就亂晒龍，係咪先？
係，好。
OK， 你幫手。
好。嗱，因為呢個問題
少少，
呢個答案重要，我會俾葛輝先生一個時間嚟到答覆嚇，好唔好啊？
咁你而家，
葛輝先生請你答。
希望個會議。
點解你平時啲官員咁做，而家其實對翻？
喂，而家你嚟 challenge 我做主席，同埋用我做委員嘅時候嗰個，咁你係玩嘢啫。你中意嚟玩嘢冇所謂㗎，我而家宣佈休會都得㗎。你而家繼續，咁我一定要保持嗰個會議進行，要等人哋答到你。
呢個就好啦，黃毓民先生。
喂，你而家喺度搞咩啫？
主席，
你喺度搞咩啫？
主席，我講呢句説話嗱，我唔係第一個。
唔緊要，你可以繼續。你影響其他人，你繼續啦，冇所謂㗎。你要利用我啲時間嚟批判
你台，就叫你講個出去啊！
你而家嚟掃啦，你唔掃你就真係好笨啦。你快啲嚟掃，
你睇下點啊？
唔係你快啲嚟掃啦！我而家就叫你嚟掃啊！掃跟住我係休會嘅咋，好簡單嘅咋，你嚟掃啦！ 你要出風頭，你要威能出嚟掃，你唔掃就真係有問題。
主席，
你又唔係呢個會嘅委員。
嗱，主席，我唔係第一個，
聽我，我要補翻
第一個打斷葛輝先生發言嘅人。
我要補翻啲時間俾你講。冇錯，好 say sorry，OK， 因為阿波哥想玩嘢，咁我應酬佢一陣。
我真係指出嚟，
但係唔需要指出，個個都知嘅。
點解你唔可以做主席啦？
冇所謂㗎。
你做人嗰時你搞亂個場。
我冇所謂㗎，你而家搞我場都得，繼續搞都得，我宣佈休會啫嘛。我有我處理辦法㗎嘛，你可以繼續搞。
你做州官嗰陣時你可以放火。
喂，我而家話俾你聽，你唔需要再繼續講呢樣嘢。你如果要玩，你可以玩，我而家就宣佈休會。OK， 好簡單。
你照下自己咋？
冇所謂㗎，唔需要我日都照鏡嘅。我都想俾塊鏡你照下，睇下揾唔揾到自尊。OK， 主席，我可唔可以嗱？我想補充一兩句先嗱，因為咧喺葛輝先生未發言之前，我希望咁樣，我唔係唯一一個議員係要求中斷葛輝先生嘅一個答覆。其他好多位議員，包括你老人家在內，都曾經咁樣做過。因為我覺得，如果葛輝先生已經答咗一個問題嘅時候呢，為咗節省時間，我有一個責任要咁樣做，並唔係想打斷佢嘅。我希望你明白呢一點。咁我而家好4分鐘，希望咧俾多1分鐘時間咧。係啦，我希望葛輝先生係可以俾到一個答覆俾我嚇。
So the question was what was the political assignment?
我再重複一次I just repeat my question, right? Now, as a civil servant, why do you think that when the finance secretary mentioned the name, and that you should interpret it as a political assignment?
Okay. That's not why I thought there was a political assignment. If I can help the Financial Secretary out here, I think there's nothing inappropriate at all in the Financial Secretary engaging in a discussion about who the suitable providers might be for an outsourced programme, if that was all he did. He actually also, beyond that, asked me to go and brief IPRO-A, and only IPRO-A, about what was going to be in the budget. But that I didn't regard as a political assignment either. In fact, I don't regard that I was ever given a political assignment. The political assignment was not on me. Mr. Peskod told me that in a private meeting with the Financial Secretary or a member of his office after the task force meeting, the Financial Secretary had told him it was mandatory or that we were required to make sure IPRO-A won. But Mr. Peskod told us we had to reject that request as civil servants and follow normal procedures. So I followed normal procedures. I didn't feel that I had to get IPRO-A to win. I felt that, nevertheless, that there was a political assignment, that someone had a political assignment to make sure IPRO-A should win. And when at the end of the process, I saw an approach being followed, which to my mind was not in the best interests of low-income families, could not really be, there was no logical reason to pursue it. I was able to conclude only that the reason it was really being pursued was because of the political assignment. I thought as controlling officer I wasn't prepared to put up with that, and that is why, and I realised to the point that as a D6 I would have to follow the instructions of a D8. I wasn't prepared to follow her instructions, and it seemed to me that the only thing I could do with integrity was to leave the government, which is what I sought to do.